Here's video number 2 for the wooden stand. And just to remind you of where we're at from video 1 is we drew this leg. There are two identical base legs. This leg right here is one of the two main base legs. That's that leg, and that's the exact same leg right there. Now I do want to go very quickly before we move on. I want to correct something I did here. This is the 1 inch dimension is across, and the 3/4 inch dimension is vertical here. But I put those holes for those bolts on that side, so we're just going to get rid of those holes and put them on the wider side. So we'll do that in just an instant. It won't take long at all. And then I'd like to, in this video, I would like to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those parts are all the same exact piece. Right? So they're 1 inch by 3/4 inch by 14 inch. And that hole is, we'll look more closely in a minute, it's somewhere right in the range of 1 3/4 inch down. And same with that one there. All right, so that, we'll draw that once, and that will cover 5 parts. So let's draw those pieces, that one piece, which will turn into 5 in the assembly. And let's, in this video, just draw those 2 right there also. And then in the next video, we'll draw the remaining 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, we're just leaving out the head. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then maybe a 4th video. We'll import the fasteners, the bolts, and all the rest, and we will assemble it in the 4th video. So let's get cracking here, and let's fix those holes right off the bat. Right. So let's go back to our base here. Right, so those are fine. The base cross leg, however, you'll see the holes are in the wrong spot. Right. They should be on that side. And I just mistakenly put them on the wrong side. So I'm going to go right here to extrude number 2. I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to sketch number 2. And I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to delete it. Now I'm going to go do a new sketch, but on this face, right, on that face there. I'm going to hit the letter N to look directly at it. And I'm going to zoom in, and I don't remember the numbers here, so I'm going to just go look at the pictures and figure out where that hole goes on this. That's right there. Yeah, so that looks like it was 3/8 in, right? So we'll just click on that, take a closer look. Let me click on that and take a closer look. There we go. Yeah, so let's see. That is 1/8, 2/8. It's a 1/4 inch hole that's 3/8 in. So let's go draw that. A 1/4 inch hole, 3/8 in, so boom, and just draw it any old place and write 0.25. There's my 1/4 inch circle, and let's put it in the right spot here. 3/8 of an inch in, and this is now 1 inch wide. So the distance between here and here, if we're going to center it, will be 1/2 inch, 0.5. And the distance between this edge and that center is 3/8 of an inch, 3/8. Okay, so now that one's in place here. Let's go do the same thing quickly on the other side. Oops, I don't know where I just went. Oh, here we go. So let me go over here. Excuse me, there we go. Circle tool, 1/4 inch circle, 0.25, enter, and then dimension tool. And let's put that 3/8 of an inch from this edge. 3/8 of an inch, 3/8. And then it's got to be halfway between this edge and this hole is 1/2 an inch, 0.5 inches. And what we're going to do now is choose the 2 things we've just drawn. So we'll accept that sketch. We'll accept that sketch and extrude that hole. So let me zoom in, choose the hole that I just drew, do the same thing on the other side, choose that circle as well, and extrude those, remove the material. 1 inch will do it because it's only 3/4 of an inch through. And so now we have those holes in the right spot for the base cross leg. Okay, so there it is. That's better. That's better. There we go. Okay. Now, Um, Gosh, the next 5 legs are all this dimension. And so we already copied this over, and I think it's the last 14 incher we need. So we need 1, 2, 3. Those 3 are identical to these 2 up here. I'm going to double check that when I get back into the building. I'm at my house right now, but I'm quite sure that's the case. And if not, we'll just draw these 2 quickly. But when I look at the drawings, I see the photographs. It looks like these are all identical: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there are no more 14 inchers. So we don't really have to copy this one. Copy this one over to another part studio. Let's call these. Let's just rename these as verticals. Vertical pieces for the 14-inch. Maybe it's a large vertical or primary vertical pieces. You can call them whatever you want, but just to help you, whatever. Just make sure it makes sense to you. I'm going to call them the large, or maybe the long vertical pieces, as opposed to the others, which are shorter, because we are going to have a couple short vertical pieces also in there. So these pieces are all 14 inches, right? But let's go back to the pictures and find out where to put that hole. I don't have a great picture of that, but this one I think will serve. I do think so. Right? So, what's the distance here between this 12 1/4 position and about 14? I don't know. Let's call it 1 3/4 inches, and we might be off by an eighth, but that's not going to stop our show. We might be off by an eighth, but let's just call that 1 3/4 inches down. So that's a 1/4 inch hole, 1 3/4 inches in. Oh, let's make sure we're on the right face here. And that's the wide face. Yeah, that's the 1-inch face. That's the 1-inch face there, and that dimension there is the 3/4 inch dimension. So or 3/4 inch and 1-inch dimension, and I think that's 1 3/4 down, a 1/4 inch hole, and it's symmetrical. It's the same on the other side. Right? It's hard to tell because we're looking down. The angle here from the camera is a little bit weird. If we lowered the camera, I think we would see that bolt is probably at about the 1 3/4 height. Again, I'm going to double check this when I get back to the lab, but let's go with that. And it's easy enough to move a hole if it's off by an eighth or something like that. So let's just go with this. And if we have to move it, that'll take us about 1 minute. So 1/4 inch holes, 1 3/4 inches in on the wide face. Yes. All right. So we're going to draw on this face here. You can look right at it like that. Or if you're in your other isometric view, like we were a second ago, you can just sketch, and it says on what face, on that face there. And you can go click on the right to view, on the view cube to look right at it, or I like the keyboard shortcut N. Okay, again, so we just need 1/4 inch holes. So let's zoom in a little bit. 1/4 inch hole, 0.25er. And let's center it with the dimension tool. Let's center it with the dimension tool. Here to here will be 1/2 inch, 0.5. This is 1 inch wide. And I think we said 1 3/4 down, knowing we can adjust this real easily. From here to here, 1 3/4. So 1.75. Okay. Same thing on the other end. Same thing over here. 1/4 inch hole, 1/4 inch circle, 0.25. And dimension, put it in the middle. That will be 1/2 inch. 0.5 inches, enter. And then center of the hole to the edge, we think is approximately, or perhaps even precisely, 1.75. And again, that's as easy as typing those numbers if we need to move it. Okay, so there are those holes in the right position, or at least approximately so. And the circles, now let's turn them into holes by choosing this one. Make sure the whole thing lights up yellow, not just the rim. And zoom it out, and zoom it in. And choose that one there. And extrude, remove. 1 inch is fine because it's 3/4 thick on this dimension. There, we just drew 5 pieces. So this piece is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when we put this assembly together, we just have to import that one piece 5 times into our assembly file. Let's go ahead and draw those two little pieces. I think from memory they're 3.5 inches, but let's look. And that hole is going to be in the same spot, right? Because that bolt goes right through those two. Right, so let's go take a look at those. Let's go take a look at those. I will go back to the pictures. And let's see, where are those little short pieces? There they are. And they just have one hole. And I guess we're getting a better read on where that bolt is. It looks maybe like it's at the 2-inch mark. So we can go change that now if we want to. In any respect, these are 3.5 inches long. I'm going to stick with my 1.75 because, and again, I'll double check, but I like my 1.75 number, and I'll tell you why. Because if this is 3.5 inches, then 1.75 is halfway through the thing. And that really does look like about halfway there. I think what we've got here is a trick of the camera, kind of, again, looking down at an angle a little bit. Right, this camera is not right at table level. It's kind of looking down on the thing at a slight angle. So it appears the bolt is in a slightly different position than it is, I do believe. So let's stick with what we did, which is putting this hole at the 1.75. Because I bet you, I mean, if I was going to design this thing, and these pieces are 3.5 inches tall, and I wanted to secure them with one bolt, I'd put it right through their center. And it does look like that. So I'm going to stick with my 1.75 number here, a hole dead center through this thing. But so 3.5 inches with a hole halfway up. Okay, so let's go over here and let's go to the plus sign here and create a new part studio. And right off the bat, I'm going to rename it as not long vertical pieces, but short vertical pieces. Okay, so rename that, and let's start a sketch on any old plane we choose. Let's do the top plane here. And let's look right at it by either hitting the end or hitting the top of the view cube. And these things are, well, the same dimensions as all the wood is, which is, let's see, on that dimension, we're going to do the 1 inch. Oh, that's the 3/4 inch by 1 inch. Okay, so there's our drawing of our piece of cross section of the wood, and all we have to do is make that 3.5 inches long, right? So let's choose it and make it 3.5 inches long. 3.5 inches. Shazam. Okay, there it is. And let's put a hole dead center, a 1/4 inch hole dead center. So let's choose the face and sketch on it. Or you can hit sketch and choose the face. Doesn't matter which order you do it in. But I'd like to sketch on that face there. And I'm going to put a hole, a 1/4 inch hole. Whoops. 0.25 inch hole. I'm just going to center that thing. Right? So let's center it. So let's make this dimension here 1 inch. No, it's a 1 inch all the way across. Let's make this 1/2 inch. 0.5. And then since it's 3.5 long, let's make that 1.75. That'll match up with the other vertical pieces. And make that 1.75, 1.75, enter. Now that thing is centered. And we can accept the sketch and extrude that hole. Extrude that hole. Remove the material to a depth of 1 inch is fine because it's only 3/4 thick. There. So we just drew those 3 pieces. Again, we don't have to draw this 3 times because we can just import it, the one thing 3 times. They're all identical to each other, those 3. So there we go. We just, we just fixed, we put the hole in the right position for this piece. We drew this piece once, and there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. We just, we only need 2 of these, but whatever. We just drew one of these 2 right down here, those little guys right down there. Those short vertical blocks there. maybe you could call those spacer blocks or whatever, also, whichever, right? And so next video, we'll draw this piece, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll draw that piece and we'll import the fasteners, the bolts and handle knobs, etc. And then that'll be the third video. And in the fourth video, we will assemble the whole thing together. And the fifth video, we'll make an exploded view drawing of it. Okay, so that's enough for this video. And nice work, and I will talk to you soon.